What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Footy Fetish, episode 9 now, I believe. We're on episode 9, nearly to double digits, not that far.
Nearly there.
I'm with Mark and Harry. How you doing, guys?
I'm good. How are you, Harry? I'll pass it to you.
I'm very well. How are you, Alfie?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you, mate. Good. Just I've got exams coming up, so a bit of exam stress and revision and that kind of thing. Not sleeping very well, but I'm sure it will all be worth it.
Classic.
But yeah, I know, innit? How's this last week been for you two?
It's just been a bit mental, really.
Been a lot of football.
Football's been a bit mental in terms of just the amount of games. I always forget how busy a double game week can be and how much planning you've got to do on your fantasy team. So
Oh god, yeah. I'm actually having a pretty good week though this week.
Yeah,
I was 77.
So I think I'm on like 79, I believe.
Nice. Just got Robertson left to play.
Oh, 75. I'm only on 75, but I've still got 1, 2, 3, 4 players to play. Salah.
Oh damn! I've only got one.
So yeah, it's doing all right on FPL.
Yeah, I'm coming for UH for that third spot.
I've had a similar kind of week points wise.
Yeah.
I think I'm 73, but I got 2 on the bench that's going to come on.
Oh,
And
okay.
I've
Yeah.
got Martinez and Grealish got another game as well.
Nice.
Nice.
I think Liverpool really need a win here against Burnley, don't they?
Yeah, that is.
I also need a win for my FPL team to.
You don't need anything for your
No,
FPL.
you're top of the league by quite a
No,
bit.
all right, but I'm worried that Ollie.
You are the worst kind of leader of the league.
I know, innit?
I'm worried Ollie's going to catch up, man. So whoever doesn't know, Ollie has been on this podcast before. He's also in our FPL league, and he's currently on. Let's have a quick look. 103 points, which is pretty.
Oh, damn! Is he?
decent. Yeah.
I didn't even check.
It's
That's
mad how
why-
competitive he stayed, considering all the weeks he forgot to change his team.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
I mean,
I was-
he had John.
second
Just
agent.
pure luck. He had John Stones in his team this week. Like,
You probably would have took him out if you remembered to do his bloody team.
I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, no, fair enough. Ollie
So
is smashing it this week.
I'm hoping to get some okay points just to counteract him getting a big swing.
Nah, you're going to win the league, man.
I think you're probably going to win it, to be honest. Unlike Liverpool, who are not now going to win the Premier League. Unless, well, you really need to win tonight, as you were saying, if you're gonna be getting in back in the title race, I suppose. Which is weird to say about Liverpool.
At date of recording, Liverpool haven't played yet. So hopefully,
Yeah.
if you're watching or listening to this on Spotify or YouTube, then hopefully Liverpool have won.
Yeah, we've got a couple of hours yet till the game kicks off. But I reckon
Come on, Burnley.
Burnley at home. Burnley at home. I'm sure you'll probably get the win there.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of the football games that have been happening over the last couple of days, though. First,
Yeah.
Fulham, Man United last night. Man United obviously now top of the league. Somehow, fair play to Ollie for getting those boys playing. But yeah, it was a weird one though yesterday. I don't know. Did any of you guys see the game?
I didn't, but I heard Pogba scored a banger of a goal.
Yeah, he did. He did score.
Yeah, it was
absolutely.
good.
Isn't it funny how now he's scoring bangers and he's like looking to leave? Now he's performing.
Well, I don't
Well,
know.
he's
Is he
trying to
looking
impress
leave?
people now. I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
But
I'm assuming he still wants to leave.
Yeah, I think
I'm
he's
assuming that's still
only
the goal.
he's only putting the work in just to impress other clubs.
Yeah.
it was Fulham as well.
But Fulham looked good as well against them. Like, it wasn't like
It wasn't an easy game.
a Man United like dominant show. Even right down to like the last sort of, the dying moments of the game, Fulham were going at them. Loftus-Cheek put an absolute like howler over the Bath, which would have been a nice equaliser. But yeah, obviously H, your favourite player in the world, Cavani, equalised for Man United.
Apparently,
Great
I
player.
heard he had a
Love
good game.
Love him.
He did have a good
Well,
game.
always rated him.
Last episode, literally, I
Brilliant.
highlighted the bit where you said "fuck Cavani."
Brilliant player. Brilliant player.
Yeah, well, we'll see. But,
Shit bloke.
Shit bloke. Yeah, I actually.
Shit player. Shit bloke.
Oh, here we go.
Oh.
He's come back. But yeah, Man United keep this going. I don't really see why there's any reason they couldn't win the league. As weird as that is to
Don't
say.
have to have the best team. You just have to get the most points, don't you?
Yeah, that's it, mate. That's it. You just got to hope City and Liverpool slip up, I suppose, from now between now and Leicester, because let's not sleep on Leicester.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, fair enough to Man United getting the win, puts them top of the league. If City win their game in hand, obviously they'll be top. Man United will be just a point behind, so I imagine City will probably get that win. But going on to City, the Aston Villa game. Did you guys see this one either? I watched the full. This was an amazing.
I looked at some of the highlights. Yeah,
it was a great game, man. Obviously, the controversy around the onside, offside for the first goal, which is definitely onside.
Thing is, annoyingly, we don't make for good entertainment because we all agree.
Yeah,
we all agree.
I don't think it's debatable.
No, not really.
Onside. It's the rules. Everyone's grown up playing those rules. I can't. Yeah. I'm actually amazed at the amount of people that think it shouldn't count. Tyrone Mings, who is my least favourite football player in the world, by the way.
Not Cavani.
A professional football player is just so desperate that he thinks that is offside.
Yeah, it's a bit mad.
It's just, oh my God.
And then I was watching, I had Sky Sports on in the background, just with the transfers going on. And they had like Gabby Abonglahor, and I can't remember who was the other player? It was like Fraser Campbell or someone like that. I can't remember. Had him on Sky Sports, and it was like 4 of them and a couple of pundits, and they all came to the conclusion that it was he was offside. I was like, how? It's like, how? He's deliberately played the ball. That therefore nullifies the offside, and then Rodri is onside.
That has been the rule for my whole life.
Yeah. Like,
should we just take over the pundits board and we'll just present?
Definitely.
It'd be more entertaining.
Yeah, definitely would be way better. But then, to be honest, aside from that, like up until that point, I was thinking this is the best 0-0 I've ever watched. It was so exciting and just mad stuff was happening all the time. But yeah, obviously in the end, City came through. Got the 2 goals right at the end as well, with Gundogan getting the penalty. I didn't actually see that bit. I had turned off after the first one. But fair play. I mean, Villa looked really good.
You want Jack Grealish to shine a bit more.
Yeah, but
I really like him, but I don't know. It's just last few games, he's looked really good, but not really got any assists or goals or.
No, he does so much more though. Like he takes.
A
couple of defenders out of the game.
Yeah. No, I get. But like for his like statistics, like just goals and assists, I just want to see more, just because I know how important he could be for England.
They've had some tough fixtures though.
Yeah.
To be fair.
Yeah, definitely.
The last 4 games: Man City, Liverpool, in the cup, Man United, Chelsea.
Yeah, that's pretty tough.
That's pretty tough, actually.
That's pretty tough. Fair play. But then they've gotten I think they've gotten a few results right in that time.
They drew against Chelsea. They lost.
That was it. 3. Yeah, so they got a result against Chelsea.
Before that, they beat Palace 3-0.
Oh, all right. Yeah. We'll move on. Leicester beat Chelsea 2-0.
Of course, the power of the host there.
Exactly. We'll talk about Leicester now, boys. Leicester beat Chelsea 2-0. Chelsea, man. I mean, before we get on to Leicester, because I will give them their credit, they've been wicked.
Yeah.
But Chelsea, let's talk about Chelsea real quick. I mean, what is going on, man?
I don't know. If you write down on a piece of paper, right, who they have on their team, their bench, their squad, and you go, they've won the league.
Yeah, on paper they are a Premiership side.
They're winning the league, and then you look at their performance, you're thinking something's not right.
Yeah, somehow Timo Werner's their worst striker.
Oh God, Jesus! Who's their best?
Giroud is their best striker.
Giroud's
their best striker. Tammy is
Abraham's popped up with a couple.
Yeah, Abraham should be the starter though. Like, Giroud is their best striker, but Tammy should start. And Timo, I don't even know what he's going to do, man. Havertz is not been that great. I don't know.
Hasn't really made an impact.
No, not really. I don't know if he's had I know he's obviously played games and stuff like that, but has he had a real opportunity to play in the position that he wants to play, where he feels comfortable to really shine? And I don't really feel like he has.
Which is think Frank's not playing the right kind of football for the players.
Yeah, I think so. I don't necessarily. I love Frank Lampard. He's my favourite England player of all time. Right, I've got multiple England shirts with Lampard on the back, but I do not think that he's going to be the guy that the manager for Chelsea for very long. If they're smart, they go after like a Julian Nagelsmann or
German manager.
Yeah, Julian Nagelsmann.
Maybe Thomas Tuchel.
Thomas Tuchel as well. I know he's expressed his interest now in the Chelsea job. And if they can, I don't know, it'll be quite difficult to pry away Erik ten Hag from Ajax, because he was like the mastermind behind Ajax's Champions League run the other year. And that was like a young team, right? That he spurred together.
Yeah, he already know Ziyech as well.
Yeah, and this is a young Chelsea team. Do you know what I mean? Like, aside from Thiago, everyone's like 24 years old essentially. Do you know what I mean? So I think getting someone like that who could actually, someone that these players can really like look at from a manager perspective and be like, right, we can play for this guy. Do you know what I mean?
And this guy knows how to play us.
And this, yeah, exactly. And I don't personally think Lampard's the right guy. I don't know how you guys felt on the whole Lampard thing quickly.
I mean, I agree with you, really. Lampard. I think, is there any room for benefit of the doubt for Lampard? Like, give him more time? Because I think
if they give him more time, I wouldn't be surprised because of what he did for them as a player. I think that has earned him the right to maybe have a bit longer. Obviously, this is long for a Chelsea manager that's doing badly. If this was anyone else, he'd been out the door by now.
True.
So
Chelsea are notorious for that revolving door.
Exactly.
As we've said before.
If anyone's going to get the benefit of the doubt to stay and figure it out, it's going to be Frank Lampard. It would just be interesting to see if they do it or not. I personally don't think I don't know. It'd be maybe not. Maybe he's not the guy. But yeah, so Leicester. Let's get on to Leicester because that's a bit more interesting and a bit more fun. They're flying again, man.
Great team to watch, aren't they? They're performing.
Yeah. And low key as well. They're not really being talked about
amongst
the teams that are going to. And this is what, obviously, I don't know if you saw James Maddison's post-match press conference, but
Brilliant.
He alluded to that in the press conference that, they can sort of sit behind everyone, all the big teams that are being talked about and, get on with their job quietly. But how impressed have you been by Leicester in this game? This season in this game, Mark?
Oh, man. I think Maddison kind of summed it up really nicely where you were just saying that they just do their own thing. As well as they just put in the work individually. I think each player puts in the required amount of effort, and I think that reflects how they're sort of performing at the moment. Which the goals they're getting aren't easy goals as well. Some of them are really good goals, like really like good team goals at that. So I mean,
Maddison's goal was fantastic against Chelsea.
I think if Leicester keep this up, Champions League. Easily they'll get top 4 if they keep performing, and then they take that same performance to some of the big teams, like the people who are currently top 4 now, including them, then easily they'll be in the Champions League next year.
Yeah. H, what do you think, mate?
They seem to be thriving when they don't have the eyes on them. Like that just seems to be how they like it in a way. But yeah, that suits them. I mean, they don't actually have any pressure on them, which is liberating for them, and they're a really good team. They definitely have the ability to get Champions League. Well, they might not have like the person-to-person individual talent, like say Tottenham or someone. They're definitely more of a team unit, and that if they do get Champions League, that would be the reason why.
Yeah, their team cohesion is unreal. Like they work so well together, and I think I agree with the. It's funny to say how Leicester have been good for a few seasons, right? It's not been like this season's the first season that they've been very good and up there. So it's funny to see a team that have consistently been up sort of that way, to have no pressure on them. Yeah. And they're in the top 4 and they don't have any pressure. It's weird. You don't really see that. With Tottenham have pressure, Liverpool have pressure, City, United, all these Chelsea, Arsenal, all these teams have pressure on them. And Leicester just seem to not. Maybe it's because they won that Premier League.
Even Everton, I think, have more pressure on them.
Yeah, they for sure. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, I agree. But even like you say out there, Leeds, because Leeds get talked about more than Leicester do. Do you know what I mean? Like they fans must be. I don't know. It's just weird. I love watching Leicester play. It must be really. I mean, we're going to have a Leicester fan on next week, ironically, but it must be really good being a Leicester fan right now.
Yeah.
Sit back and chill and just
enjoy where your team's at.
Yeah, exactly. Like I hope they win it, man. I don't think they will, but I hope they do. Next game. We'll go on to Arsenal, who seem to have had a little revival lately. 3-0 win against Newcastle, and they actually look very good.
Didn't Aubameyang get something on the sheets?
Aubameyang got 2.
Nice.
woken up, I suppose, and decided to come play football now. But it has been since they brought Emil Smith-Rowe into the team. It seems that that sort of a bit of creativity in there has unlocked them a little bit. And Bukayo Saka also getting the other goal. But I think it's just, I think they're settling into what they're supposed to be. As soon as they got a somewhat creative player in that midfield spot, they seem to score goals now. So, I mean, we've got in the transfer thing later. I'll talk about it more later. But they are in talks with Real Madrid to get Odegaard, Martin
really?
Odegaard, on loan for the rest of the season. I'll touch on that later and that kind of thing. But yeah, I think Arsenal are shooting in the right direction now. I don't know if if you've got any thoughts on what you think Arsenal can do.
Just a complete turnaround, really, at the moment, isn't it? I mean, that 3-1 win against Chelsea done massive things for them. They haven't conceded a goal in all competitions in 5 games now.
It's fantastic.
Remarkable, considering before that they'd conceded about 10 in the same amount of time. But, really impressed. To be fair, I mean, they're not playing spectacularly, but they getting a winning mentality down.
Yeah,
that's good for them.
Yeah, for sure. They're pretty much on the best, apart from Man City. Well, they're basically on the best form of any team in the Premier League right now.
Which is funny because it didn't feel like long ago that we were joking about them getting relegated, but it was a real pressure.
Yeah,
I know, man.
It was real.
So
man.
excited for that.
Yeah, I think everything was there. It was there. They were doing that badly, but now it's they'll be fine.
15 points clear of the relegation zone now.
Yeah, it's unreal.
Which is more points than Fulham have.
Yeah, it is. Wow.
Who are 18.
Brighton are right there down there now. Hopefully they get relegated. That'd be hilarious. But so I think Arsenal, if they keep it going, if they do bring in someone like Odegaard like that, I think they'll just. I don't know if they're going to do anything higher than maybe like 8th this season, just because of the really poor start they've had. And I don't really see any of that top 7 those top 7 teams dropping off that much. But I think fair play to Arsenal. Man City beat Palace 4-0. That's it really. Mark, what was Liverpool? What did you think of Liverpool Man United, mate?
God,
0-0.
boring.
Yeah. That was so dull.
It's so dull. Just nothing was happening. Man, fair play. I mean, fair play to United. They happily let world-class players push defence, and they just sat back and just took it. They just took
They
it.
had the 2 best chances.
Yeah.
United.
Well, yeah, they did. It was just. I was watching the game, and it's just everything was just. They parked the bus and waited for that counter, which they got a few times. Alisson made some great saves. 2 world-class.
I don't know how he
saves.
saved that Pogba.
Oh
shot.
God! But thank God he did though. But
Fair play.
I don't know. I just felt. I don't know. We're just missing that clinical finish, which is weird to say, because usually it's we're missing that defensive wall.
Yeah.
But now it's like we're missing that clinical finish. It's weird to say, but arguably the best front 3 in the world. Well, not at the moment. I'd say,
I think I've just sort of been thinking about Firmino recently, and I think with the way that you guys have got to play now without Van Dijk and some of these other players, doesn't really work with Firmino. You need a better striker.
I mean, I think
someone that's going to actually score.
I think I was speaking to some of you guys, or maybe Ollie, the other day, that how Liverpool have a strong first team, and we're missing like pockets of players. Well, we're missing 2 centre backs. I mean, but each player, when they're in their position and fully fit, knows what everyone else is doing, so they know how to sort of play, and that's what gets us goals. Stops us conceding and things like that. But now you've got Henderson in centre back. He can't control the game as well in midfield.
Yeah.
You got Thiago coming in, and he's not as. He is a great player. Don't get me wrong, world class player, but he obviously hasn't integrated as much in the team. And then you obviously got just the mental state of Salah being. There's obviously talks about him not being happy and he might want to move and all those things, and then just general small injuries across the board. Really, I think it's not the same Liverpool team that you're seeing at the moment. And I'm hoping that when those injuries come back and we've got players back in, which unfortunately might not be till next season.
Yeah.
That you won't see the same Liverpool team till next year, I believe. But I don't know. That Man United game was very dull. There's not really much to say. There's no goals. Yeah, I just think United did well in it.
Yeah.
Bruno Fernandes, who, right? I didn't even see him in the game.
Yeah, he wasn't a big part of the game.
Saw him take one free kick, which was fairly close, but it looked like Alisson may have had it, and that was it.
I expect he'd have been burnt out after the last year, to be fair.
Sorry?
Yeah.
I expect he'd have been burnt out after the last year.
Yeah, true.
Doing everything.
Yeah, for sure. I have seen some weird thing about Bruno Fernandes not being able to show up in big games. There was a couple of things that tracked, but I don't know enough about it to go into it about it. But
I mean, I read
he's a fantastic player. So
I mean, he's a great player. Don't get me wrong. I have noticed, I have seen that floating about that he doesn't show up in big games. But
yeah,
other than that, Man United put on a great performance and they dealt with us.
Yeah,
really well.
No, for sure. Before we go into the main bulk of our podcast, which is actually the top 10 goalkeepers of the whole Premier League era, we've put together our own top 10 lists. We'll talk about them and see what we think. I definitely think there's going to be... I think number one is pretty certain. So I'm hoping we've got the same number one. But apart from that, I think it could all go up and down, to be honest. But we'll talk about Tottenham, Sheffield United first. 3-1 to Tottenham. They looked... really good in this game, apart from having conceded to Sheffield United, But Aurier scored a great goal. Harry Kane scored a great goal. Did anyone see Ndombele's?
No.
Oh, unreal, mate. Unreal.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Yeah.
What the hell was that goal? I loved it. I didn't understand it, but I loved it.
Did he dink it from super far out and it just floated in the bottom right corner?
It was
weird.
It was quite close to the goal, but it was like kind of back-heeled it in a way, but then it like looped over the keeper.
It was cool. Whatever it was, it looked
cool.
Yeah. So I don't know if he meant it. I'm not going to hold that against him if he didn't, but it looked wicked. But yeah, I think Tottenham just getting better. Well, they're just good, aren't they, Tottenham? They're just good, but are they good enough to win the Premier League? That's the thing, isn't it? And probably not, would you say?
Probably not.
With the Cities and the United. Oh, God, it feels weird saying the United.
I think they just need one or two more, like, properly quality players.
Yeah, it all looks good, like, in the midfield and up top, and then you get to the back. The back three was Ben Davies, Eric Dyer, and Rodon.
I mean, Alderweireld is quality. Hugo Lloris, obviously quality.
Oh, yeah.
But, just need to pad out the back a bit more, I think.
Yeah, get in a world-class centre-back. Like, they were going for Skriniar from Inter Milan, who they probably should have pushed for him a little bit more, but you never know. They could sign him. He's wicked. But yeah, all right, let's get into the main bulk of this. The top 10 Premier League goalkeepers of all time. How do we want to do this, boys? Do we want to just go 10, all do our 10, 9, 8?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I've got a couple of honourable mentions for mine. I will just say their names. If you guys have got them in your list, I'll leave it to you to then go into more depth with them. So my honourable mentions are Jens Lehmann, Mark Schwarzer, Tim Howard, Alisson and Edison. They're my honourable mentions. Obviously, if you guys have got them when it comes to your numbers to talk about them or whatever. But I guess I'll go first. My number 10, this was quite difficult between 9 and 10. I've gone Shay Given.
Okay.
I really wanted to put him in my top 10, but I had to downgrade him to honourable mention.
I'll say for Alisson and Edison, the reason why they're not in is not down to them as like goalkeeping ability. It's just over like they haven't been here long enough for me to put them in.
I didn't even put them in honourable mention.
I just want to say, goalkeeping wise, as players, they're definitely basically at the top, really. But they haven't had the careers in the Premier League for me to put them in this list. I felt like I would be cheating some other people. But yeah, Shay Given, 113 clean sheets, which the way it worked out was, I saw this thing, he averaged a clean sheet every 4 games. And when you take into account the teams he played for, Blackburn, Newcastle, Man City when they were bad, Aston Villa and Stoke. So, it's a quality goalkeeper.
21 years in the Premier League as well.
Yeah,
so.
and
Long time.
He's one of them keepers when I think of football when I was a kid. He's just, but like he was just always in Shay Given and on FIFA Street as well. He was unreal on FIFA Street.
He was unbelievable goalkeeper. Underrated, so underrated.
Yeah, definitely.
I did have him as 10, but I scribbled him out in the end. Downgraded him.
Okay.
Mark, I do love Shay Given.
Yeah, a wicked goalkeeper, man. Mark, who have you got for your number 10?
So, number 10, I've got David James.
Ooh, okay. I like it.
Yeah, apparently had a great career with Portsmouth, but he initially was Liverpool's first goalkeeper in the Premier League. Had shaky starts as well into that, and then he was sold to Aston Villa. They went on to Portsmouth and had a great career at Portsmouth. Really?
Yeah, he's got the second most clean sheets of all time, I believe.
Yeah,
169, which is cool. But obviously his nickname was Calamity James, wasn't it?
Yeah, he had a shaky start. Shaky start.
Yeah, but I like David James. I like David James a lot, and I will. I might as well say it right now when we're talking about it. He's my number 9.
Oh,
so
Shay Given was my number 9.
Oh, okay, nice.
I've got David James higher than that, but I'm not entirely happy with it.
All right, yeah. So David James, yeah, he's just a classic goalkeeper, isn't he? The hairdos, everything. Yeah. He's wicked, man. And Portsmouth days were my favourite David James days, I think.
As I'm sure most people.
Yeah, most people agree. Harry, who's your number 10, mate?
My number 10 is Timothy Howard.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
One of the most exciting goalkeepers to watch. Just brilliant. Apparently he had Tourette's. I don't know if that's true or not. But
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I could always see him like screaming at the defence and stuff. He's one of the most vocal goalkeepers, like commanding his back line. Brilliant. Made some spectacular saves without being like for the cameras.
Yeah.
Just solid. He's in the Prem for a long time. Joined 7th on the clean sheets list.
Didn't he score a goal?
He did. Yeah. Over.
Always gonna get ratings if you
Ben
score
Foster,
a goal.
I think. No.
Yeah.
That was Paul Robinson.
No.
I'll have a quick look.
Yeah. That was it. But so so like I said, my number 9 is David James. 5 teams.
Yeah.
I could have gone either way with that.
Yeah.
I was debating like Shay Given. I actually prefer Shay Given over David James. I don't know why I put David James over him, but fine, whatever. But yeah, no. So yours is obviously Shay Given.
Yeah. There was over Adam Bogdan, that Tim Howard goal.
Oh wow, Adam Bogdan. Bloody hell.
That's a name.
H, who have you got as your number 9?
My number 9 is Marcus Schwarzer.
Nice.
Or Mark Schwarzer, as his actual name is.
Okay.
He was in the Premier League for ages.
Ages.
I mainly remember playing for Middlesbrough.
Yep.
Which he did for 11, 12 years or so. And Fulham. He was this is unrelated to his actual playing, but he was the first player to win back-to-back Premier League titles without playing a single game at different clubs.
Because he won at Chelsea, didn't he?
He went from Chelsea and then to Leicester.
Yeah.
Without playing a single game.
That's
great
hilarious.
Great stat. But no, for real, he was a fantastic goalie. So tall and lanky, but really good.
Yeah, from what I've seen of him, he seems like a nice guy as well. From interviews and stuff like that on Sky Sports. But before we go into number 8 for us, we're going to take a little break right now, grab some water, do all that kind of things, and we'll see you guys in a second. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to part dos. We are moving into our 8th player on the all-time Premier League goalkeepers list. I don't think you guys will have him in here, but it's Thibaut Courtois. And the reason why I've got him in here is because, let's not forget, he was very young when he played in the Premier League. He was unbelievable. He got like 48 clean sheets, right? But he played 4 seasons and won 2 Premier League titles. That's why I've got, and the fact that he was so young and he was so good when he was in the league. Like,
I don't know if he was that good, to be honest.
He was good.
I thought a lot of the time he looked really lazy, and there were some games where he just looked like he did not care about Chelsea at all. Well,
they won 2 Premier League titles in 4 years with him being at the number 1, and to do that in the Premier League is very difficult. So I've got him in here. I rate Thibaut Courtois.
He had a bit of down to him though.
No, well, he played a big part in it because he is the goalkeeper. But yeah, Thibaut Courtois is my number 8. So, Mark, who's your number 8?
A fellow Mark Schwarzer.
Nice.
So I struggled a little bit with this one just because where we say top 10 best goalies in the Premier League, there are some clear top 4s, but then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 were kind of a struggle for me, and I just wanted to put Mark Schwarzer at 7th because he did do quite well. I think I wrote something down. He managed to get Middlesbrough to the UEFA Cup for Europe, so good achievements there.
I got to the final of that.
Yeah, and then I think did he go to Fulham as well? Was there for some time, and wrote down as well his ability for shot stopping was apparently legendary. So I thought there was a bit of something about him. I didn't know too much about him. It's just this is all stuff that I sort of read online and did my own research on, but it did impress. So I was like, great goalie, got to put him in. Didn't think he would get any higher than 7th, which is why 8th, which is kind of gone at 8th.
Yeah, fair. I like Mark Schwarzer in this list. I should have put him in over Thibaut Courtois. But I like Thibaut Courtois, and I'm sticking by.
It's fine.
He is an amazing goalkeeper. Well, he was an amazing goalkeeper. He still is decent, very, very good. H, who have you got?
I've gone for David James. This was always where he was.
Yeah, didn't move him during the break or anything.
Nah.
Never, not me.
No, he's second on the all-time clean sheets record. That's the main reason I've.
Yeah, that's why he's basically in mine. Otherwise, he wouldn't be.
And he did have quite a lot of defences, which were just average.
Yeah.
So fair play to him. He had a good career.
Yeah, no, fair play, David James. My 7th is a weird one. If you guys have him, I'll be pretty surprised as well. Nigel Martin. Back in the day, he was obviously a little bit 137 clean sheets. Bit of bias because he played for my Palace. Love him. Also was part of the Everton team that had their best ever Premier League finish back in the day. A very good defensive unit back then, and he was also part of obviously that amazing 90s Leeds team that went to the Champions League semi-finals and all that. He's just a fantastic goalkeeper that I think gets left out a lot due to like recency bias and people maybe not knowing about him as much as they do other goalkeepers. So I wanted to show him a bit of respect and put him into this list.
I had him on my honourable mentions. But it's one of there that I can't rate people too highly that I didn't really see play, which, it's like you say, recency bias. But, I mean, the guy's 5th on the all-time clean sheets record, so it can't be that bad.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I the Palace thing is, I'm in my heart, so I had to put him in there for that as well. But, Mark, who have you got as your number 7?
I've got Brad Friedel.
Oh, big Brad Friedel.
Yeah, I mean, he was another one that I struggled to argue myself to put a bit higher because of what he's done in his career. I thought he deserved a bit more respect, but then I looked at the people who were above him, and I was a bit like, okay, but obviously you'll find out soon. But a little bit of background on Brad Friedel. He didn't really make much of an appearance, annoyingly, after signing for Liverpool. Made a move to Blackburn, which apparently was where he really took off. Excuse me.
Yeah, definitely.
He got a lot of praise at that performance there, and I believe in 2003 he got Player of the Year for keeping 15 clean sheets.
Wow,
which is
he's good at Tottenham as well.
Yeah, I was going to move on. He got to.
He was pretty old at that point as well.
Yeah, he was a veteran at that point, and then still got a nod from Tottenham, and was a solid player at Tottenham as well. So I think to push your age to then go to a team like Tottenham at that time. And to be a solid player, had to put some respect.
And he's American. So he gets double points for being good.
If there's one thing Americans are good at, is goalkeepers.
Yeah,
they've
that's
had
very
a
true.
lot of good goalkeepers.
They do put some good goalkeepers out there.
So strange.
But H, who have you got for your number 7, mate?
I've got a somewhat surprise inclusion. Hugo Lloris.
Okay, I wasn't expecting to see Lloris on this list.
That's fair.
No.
He's in his 9th season now, and again has had some questionable Tottenham defences. You look back to the Spurs team 2012-2013. Let me have a quick look at the team. But I'm pretty sure around that time they still had players like Sebastian Bassong and Yunus Kabul and stuff.
Yunus Kabul, yeah.
And I just think of Tottenham and I think how many times he's bailed them out in games.
Pavlyuchenko. I know he's a striker, but that's just the name that came to me.
I think he's been consistent for pretty much the whole time, making saves. When you're the goalie of a big team, a lot of the times you don't have that much stuff to do.
Yeah.
But there's been a lot of games to where he's had to do so much work, and he's been a big. They've obviously not won anything, but he's been a big part of them becoming competitive in the Champions League kind of level team, which they definitely weren't when he joined.
Yeah, he's been the one sort of like, along with like, I guess really for the last 9 years, he's been the one consistent thing in this Tottenham team. Is that they've had a solid keeper.
True.
No matter where they've been up and down, but they've always had Lloris and everyone. I think everyone's sort of always rated him since he came in, and he's been one of them sort of, I don't know, I'd probably say he's underrated, I guess, in terms of what he does. I guess because he's at Tottenham, and because he has been here for so long, and it's at Tottenham that he gets overlooked.
Was it Lloris that like messed up his elbow? Landed on it funny.
That was like a couple seasons ago.
Got an injury as well. I was going to say.
Yeah. He messed himself up pretty bad. Yeah, but
so I like Vorman for a while.
Yeah, actually, another decent keeper to be fair to him. But I like that pick. So on to number 6. I wonder if you guys have him. I don't know. You might not. I got Joe Hart. 127 clean sheets. I do feel like people, because of what's happened in this latter stage of his career, with just bouncing around and Pep not fancying him. But people have forgotten how good he was for City and for England as well. He's pretty decent. But for City especially, he was so vocal back there for the defenders with Vincent Kompany and stuff. He was someone that that they could rely on to make, and he made some worldy saves as well. 2 Premier League titles as well, which I think goes people don't really notice as much because of obviously City going forward was so impressive, and they sort of look at that. Joe Hart was in the heart of that defensive unit, and won 2 Premier League titles.
His responsibility as well for the England team as well was pretty big.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people when you think of Joe Hart's England career, it is the little dink penalty from Pirlo in the World Cup that you think about, but no, he was such a solid keeper, man.
That was at a time as well, which sucked to him where he was in his prime. But we're on the back end of the golden generation, and we didn't really have that many prospects coming through. But we're drowning in youth prospects.
It would have been fantastic if we could have had Joe Hart around the time where we had bloody Roy Carroll and who else was the other Donny that used to get in? That was it Paul Robertson that spilled it at the World Cup through his legs? Yeah, these guys.
No, that was Rob Green.
Rob Green. So when the time we had Rob Green and Roy Carroll starting for England, man, if we just had Joe Hart at that point, you never know what could happen. I think Joe Hart is criminally overlooked in this kind of stuff, and I really like Joe Hart, and he's one of them passion players as well that's really going to pick your team up and get them playing.
I did have him down as an honourable mention just because he did do a lot.
Yeah.
He did. He was quite successful.
It's mainly Man City fans that still remember how good he actually was in it. But,
wherever they may be.
All 5 of them.
Yeah,
they're gonna win
the database with all their hard drives plugged in. But Mark, who's your number 6, man?
We've already spoken about this, but Martin James. Is it Martin James?
What?
Nope.
Martin.
Nigel Martin.
I don't know why.
There we go.
Oh, speaking of
David James.
David James. I was like, wait, who the hell is that? I had Martin in at 6. Again, it was just getting tough for me at this point in the list.
Yeah.
I knew immediately who sort of my top 3-4 were, and no, he is a decent
5 down. Definitely got harder.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I didn't even I wrote down Joe Hart, and then as I was looking at more, and even when Nigel Martin came in, I was like, I can't have Joe Hart, but I kind of regret that decision now. But still, at least we put some respect in his name, I guess.
Yeah. He's been mentioned. He's been
mentioned, yeah. But as well as Nigel Martin's been mentioned, he had a great career. I think, he's on the list for a reason.
Yeah.
So, I think you've already spoken about him, haven't you?
Yeah, man.
Martin? Yeah.
I have. But yeah, H, who have you got number 6, mate?
I've gone for Bradley Friedel.
Nice.
Love that man, big bald head. Love it. That's what you want to see. If you're a defender, you turn around, you see Brad Friedel, you're like, we're gonna be fine.
Yeah. Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Like Mike already touched on. I first remember him when he played for Blackburn.
Yeah.
And they're a fairly decent team around those times.
Was that the Morgan Gabs
lower
Pedersen
top
days?
10 and stuff? Yeah.
Oh, what a player he was, man.
David Dunn, etc.
David Dunn, yeah.
Yeah. Great
Nice.
player.
That's 5. I've got David De Gea.
Oh.
I couldn't really put him any higher. I think eventually he might, if he stays, Man United pick it up again, and if he can get another couple maybe Premier Leagues under his belt, he could get higher than this. But I think 119 clean sheets. The whole thing he has had a couple of spells that he wasn't necessarily that great, De Gea, but it's not been for like a long amount of time. And he has been one of the things that United can always rely on after the post Fergie era, and be like, okay, we had David De Gea, who is an amazing goalkeeper, and he stayed, man. He could have gone. He could have left a few times, I'm sure. I remember Real Madrid really wanted him, but I think respecting David De Gea, he's unbelievable goalkeeper.
Yeah, can't argue with that. He's been fairly consistent as well, apart from
a couple occasions where he hasn't been. But,
I mean, he had, and like you said, he had every opportunity to leave at some point. So just being loyal as well, I think, is something that might be an underrated personality trait.
Definitely. But yeah, exactly. But who have you got, mate?
It's a check.
Petr Cech this low. Okay.
I
want to hear why. Oh, okay. I want to know who you've got above Petr Cech. All right,
we'll get there. Brent, as we all know, you've probably got him a little bit higher than I do. Clearly. But I don't want to take the limelight too much. I think obviously we know he spent. I think I read a fact that he spent 1,000 minutes in goal without conceding a goal in 2005, 6.
Yeah, he. I think that was the season they won it. That was the year that they conceded the least amount of goals in the Premier League season. They only conceded 13 goals that season.
13 goals.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Jesus, that's insane. Yeah. I mean, he did, as everyone knows, that infamous head injury he got. I don't think that actually affected his career as a goalie. I think that just affected his personal life more. But he came back.
Yeah, he was still solid for years after that, for sure.
I mean, now that I'm saying out loud, probably should have put him a little bit higher. Because
that's fine.
He's even come back for Chelsea, hasn't he? He's like
a coach now, isn't he?
Yeah, he's like a coach, but he didn't.
He quit to play ice hockey for a while. And then
I think he's like an emergency sort of deal. Like if their keeper situation gets too, somehow their keeper situation can get bad. They've got like 17 keepers, but whatever. Petr Cech. All right, cool. H, who's your number 5?
David Seaman for me.
Nice.
I love David Seaman. Everything I've seen about him, he seems like the nicest man ever. It's part of some amazing Arsenal teams. Brilliant keeper. Questionable ponytail, admittedly.
Definitely.
But I can't talk. I used to have a questionable ponytail.
I remember that.
Yeah, he was quality. He was the first. He was the goalkeeper when I first started watching football, for England. He was the goalkeeper.
Yeah, me too.
Arsenal were the best team at that time. He was their keeper.
Yeah.
Always got love for David Seaman.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. David Seaman is my number 4. 141 clean sheets. He was like the man in that 90s Arsenal era where they were just, so dominant, and he was just, for England and for Arsenal, he was just an unbelievable keeper. And like you said, H, just all round seems like an unbelievably nice guy in everything that I've seen him do. 2 Premier League titles, which is cool. That's a decent number, to be fair, for him. David Seaman, there's not really much to add on to what you said. But Hey, Mark, who's your number 4?
Number 4, I've got Van der Sar. Edwin van der Sar.
Nice.
Again, probably, I think if you're a Man United fan, you probably know this keeper. He won 4 out of 6 Premier League titles. I think he was with Man United. Astounding amount.
Yeah, he won 4, which is
and-
unreal.
Yeah, I think that itself puts him up there on top of just being a solid player, solid goalkeeper at that. I just think, yeah, just the 4 out of 6 was really just ridiculous for me. That's a ridiculous stat.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. Unbelievable keeper. Yeah, H, who's your number 4?
David De Gea. Number
Nice.
4. Yeah, you guys pretty much hit the nail on the head just now. But yeah, but he's not at his complete best anymore. But the end of last season, start of this season, bit suspect. But now no one's talking about him anymore because he's just getting on. He's playing well again. Yeah, been phenomenal. Again, I feel like I'm using this excuse a lot, but he's had some bad defences in front of him this time in Man United, and he's been the best goalkeeper in the 2010s for sure. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think if you were going to say like the 2010s in a team, De Gea has to be your keeper, really, isn't he? Yeah, phenomenal. My number 3 is Mark's number 4, Edwin van der Sar. 132 clean sheets. Obviously, just was an absolute baller.
Monstrous.
At Man United, at Fulham, and at Man United. Like, he got better after 40, which is unreal. Like, how does that a thing? It's just unreal. Yeah, four Premier League titles, man. 4 Premier League titles. That's just obviously, you said a lot, Mark. Was big for the Netherlands as well. Yeah, and it was just like one of the keepers of my childhood was Edwin van der Sar, and that was for always like good memories.
He's
man.
a big player.
Big player. But he's not my number 3. Who have you got number 3?
Yeah, I might butcher his name, so I'm sorry if anyone's listening. Juicy Jaskalainen.
Jussi Jaskalainen. You've got
Jaskalainen.
Jussi Jaskalainen very high.
I really wanted to put him in my top 10 because
he was going to be an honourable mention for me.
Again, I didn't know too much about this guy.
Petr Cech. Okay.
But I was reading it, and one of the things I just thought was just ridiculous, and I really wanted to just put him in there just to be a little bit dramatic, was he kept Bolton. Was it Bolton?
Yeah.
Bolton in the Premier League for over a decade for just consistent, solid performance.
Yeah.
And I was just literally reading stuff about him, like, I can't believe I have heard of him, obviously, but I just couldn't believe I just didn't know some of the stuff about this guy, and I was just literally 400 Premier League appearances for Bolton.
Yeah, no,
and I was just literally flabbergasted. I was just like, these stats are insane.
Yeah, he's a great player. He was an unbelievable player. Like, let's not get it twisted, but better than Petr Cech.
Well, when I was reading this as well, when I was looking up, I made a note. It said they said it would be easy to overlook him because of his situation, but like Mark Schwarzer, that is exactly why he deserved recognition.
Okay,
that's
fair enough. So
I've already said I kind of regret the Petr Cech thing, but then I probably would rejig them now that I've heard your guys' opinions and things.
Probably should, yeah. But no, I'm only joking. Mate, that's you. Jaskalainen boy. Okay.
I just thought some of those stats, some of those facts were just big numbers.
No, I really like that, but that is mental. So I love it. I love it because it's good, but it's mental. But yeah. Where are we? Number 3. Hey, who's your number 3?
Number 3, I've got Timothy Castagna. I'm same as you, Alf. I've got Van der Sar.
Nice.
Just incredible. You said 4 Premier League titles. You said he won.
4 and 6.
That's mad because he only signed for United when he was 35.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, man.
Absurd, but quality.
Yeah, he's just one of them keepers that maybe it will maybe in years and years and years it'll be like, maybe he will be like one of the best we think of him. Like, obviously we do now top 3, but I mean, like, to eclipse obviously number 1, who I think is a unanimous decision at number 1. Obviously, it's going to be quite a hard feat, but maybe he could do it with a bit more time. But yeah, number 2, Jussi Jaskol. No, Petr Cech is my number 2. 202 clean sheets. Like I said earlier, was when we were talking about him in 5th or whatever. Because the least amount of goals in the season conceded, 13 goals he conceded in a whole Premier League season. That's unreal. Obviously took a nasty head injury, like we were saying, and then didn't, obviously he wasn't quite the player that he was before, but he was still 85 to 90% off.
Yeah.
He was still pretty well. Phenomenal, right? And he still went on to play at Arsenal and did pretty okay at Arsenal for a little while. Then to go off and play ice hockey, I've got to rate you for that as well. But
that's cool. It is cool.
Yeah, man. But no, Petr Cech, man. Yeah, he'll always be one of them keepers that I think is one of the best keepers of all time for sure. But not as good as Jaskalainen, I can admit. But yeah, Mark, who's your number 2, mate?
David Seaman.
David Seaman. Okay, fair enough. Number 2.
I think he's a classic, sort of second classic English player, potentially up there. He's had really good. I think if you're going to think of goalkeepers, you're probably 50-50 going to think of David Seaman.
Yeah, for sure.
Player.
Especially Arsenal goalkeepers. That's the first one you think of, right?
Yeah, he's just one of those people who was just amazing to watch, just entertaining. And definitely, when I was rewatching some of the clips on my lunch break earlier today.
Nice.
Just watching it, it was just amazing, wasn't it? It was just so entertaining.
Amazing.
Just loved it. I think I did write down some of his stats. So yeah, he did really well. I think as well. Yeah, he spent quite some time as England's first choice goalkeeper as well. So he put in a shift for England. But yeah, David Seaman, number 2. I think that's a good call, other than Petr Cech so low.
No, I like it, David. Yeah, David Seaman, he could definitely be number 2. I don't see why not. But yeah, H, who have you got at number 2, mate?
Peter Schmeichel.
I was so looking forward to us doing a unanimous Peter Schmeichel, but no.
Everyone says he's the best keeper in the Premier League era, and I did not see him with my own eyes, so I don't feel comfortable saying that.
Okay, fair enough.
For me,
fair enough.
But obviously, he's a phenomenal goalie. But that's why I got him in second. But for me, I got to go off what I've seen.
No, that's fair enough. So you must have Jaskalainen number 1. But
spoilers, Alf.
No, I'm sorry. My number 1's Peter Schmeichel.
Yeah, Peter Schmeichel.
That's a shocking choice, mate. Shocking.
128 clean sheets, 5 Premier League titles.
Treble.
Treble winning. Just some of the saves, man. Some of the best saves in football history, man. He's just an unbelievable keeper. He was a
first
bit of a nutcase as well. Yeah, exactly. A bit of a
score.
Nutcase. You would not want to mess around with him back in the day. He'd, fucking squeeze your head. But he's just a beast, man. And he's I feel like he's one of them. Obviously, like you're saying, we didn't really see much of him play at all, really. But from what I've heard from my dad and older friends that I have seen him play, they're just. What an unbelievable player he was, and the thing that they say about him, and I've seen a lot of Premier League years and all that kind of TV shows and stuff, but you just see the saves that he makes and the impact he had on that team throughout the squad was just unreal. And the way he just scared the shit out of strikers, any striker that came up against him, just scared the shit out of them.
The way I did this list was just to write down some names that I remembered off the top of my head. There's some older names. First one, Peter Schmeichel.
Yeah, that was literally the way I did it. I didn't numbered it 1 down to 10, and I was like, I'll go for 10 up. But I was like, actually, you know what? Let me just put Peter Schmeichel at number 1 first, and then we'll go up. But yeah, no, I think best Premier League goalkeeper of all time, in my opinion. But yeah, wicked player. Mark, have you got Schmeichel as well?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Wicked, unbelievable. And now his son is also very good. So I don't know if you take that into consideration, that his son is also an amazing goalkeeper, because he had part in making his son. So let's we'll go on that.
Well, he's actually been consistent as hell ever since Leicester got on the Premier League. He's been
he's been very good.
Big shoes to fill there, mate.
Absolutely. But H. Who have you got?
Petr Cech for me.
Nice.
Fair enough.
But he's 33 clean sheets ahead of anyone, ahead of David James. I'm not just for these stats, by the way. And he's done that in 129 less games. Obviously, he had better defenses in front of him. For me,
best defenses ever.
Unbelievable consistency from the whole time he was in it until he went to Arsenal. But I mean, he's getting on a bit by that point. Just so reliable, so brilliant. For me, the best goalkeeper I've seen playing in the Premier League. But I was always going to put Cech, Schmeichel, and Van der Sar as my top three. I think they're just a class above everyone else.
Yeah, for me as well. That's literally Van der Sar, Cech, Schmeichel. You can have it in whatever order you want, really.
Do you think Petr Cech could have been any better if he didn't get that head injury? Would it just be like a few stats a bit better, or?
Well, he
I don't
wouldn't
know
have
if there was
missed
much else he could have done.
True.
He wouldn't have missed all them games, so he'd probably just have more numbers.
Yeah.
You know, his numbers would be even bigger. Do you know what I mean? So
How long was he out for? About most of a season?
A year,
pretty
I
much
think.
most of the season, right? So if you put another season on top of that of what he could have done, you never know.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you never know.
And he's almost a full season's worth of clean sheets ahead of the next guy.
Yeah,
Jesus.
It's unreal. Fair play. Like I don't hate that at all. I was just hoping for that all unanimous. We could do the
Would have been
Schmeichel. That'd have been cool. But
Nah,
Harry has
not
to
about that life.
hopefully we can have a unanimous top one next week. Before anything
next week. Oh yeah. Well, we'll talk about that at the end. We'll talk about that.
I'll tell you, I really thought you guys were both going to put Pepe Reina in.
Oh,
And
he
I
was
hate-
an
I
honourable
wanted
mention.
to.
Oh,
I
yeah.
wanted to.
I've always hated him, so I thought it was going to be a controversial omission. But no, I'm very happy that you haven't.
No, I didn't. I did want to get him in there, but
The
I
Liverpool
couldn't
screaming
find a
in
way.
me was screaming Pepe Reina.
Yeah, I was supposed to put Allison in there.
Oh mate, he's a world class goalie, but he needs to do it.
Yeah,
for a lot
I just
longer. And it
thought
was
he might have had
Premier League specific.
Mm.
So I'm not
Yeah,
that
exactly.
naive.
No, I know. I just thought maybe the Liverpool bias would come through and you'd go on
mate.
like the player over the career, maybe.
Imagine if I just sat there and listed Liverpool's just top 10 players, top 10.
I mean,
goalies.
my head was screaming at me to put Marcus Hahnemann number one, but
that was hard. I wanted to get.
I will give him an honourable mention though, my boy.
I wanted to get Gabor Kiraly in there, but he only played like one season in the Premier League for us, and we got relegated. So probably not the best. He wore tracksuits though. What goalkeeper do you know to wear tracksuit bottoms in a game? Gabor
From
Kiraly.
Matalan.
Exactly. But before we get
Massimo Taibi.
baller. But before we get into the final part of the show, I guess we'll say instead of podcast, we're gonna take another quick break. We will be right back now. Welcome back, guys, to part 3 of episode 9. Before we get into this part 3, like and subscribe, hit the notification button, do all that good stuff. All right. Now, we're going to go into some transfer bids. There's not been a great deal. I mean, there has been actual signing. Palace have signed someone. We've signed a striker. He's young. He's 23.
Ooh.
It's unlike us to sign a youngster. Jean-Philippe Matata, which I quite liked the Palace's caption for it. It was Hakuna Matata. We signed, which is great. I don't really know much about him. I can't lie. I did watch some tape on him earlier, like some videos. And he looks decent, man, to be fair. 10 goals in 17 games this season for Mainz. We got him for like a 2 million loan fee with an option to buy after the 18-month loan, which can go into your clause bit after this, Mark. We can actually, move nicely into that. But we have to buy him if he makes 15 Premier League starts.
Oh.
Yeah, so I don't really know why that's a clause. It's a very weird clause. It's almost like they're like, yeah, well, we're just not going to buy him yet, but he's obviously going to start 15 times for us. Like, it's going to happen.
You just play him 14 games, see how he does.
Wouldn't be surprised if that was the case, mate. But but yeah, no, I like it. I mean, it's a youngster, it's a striker. We don't have to play Benteke anymore. Yeah, I mean, he's taller than Benteke as well, so it's going to fit nicely into how we like to play.
Wow.
With,
How tall is he?
I think he's 6'4".
Jesus.
He's a quick player as well. He likes to play with his back. He likes to collect the ball with his back to goal and use his wingers. I've seen in like tapes and stuff like that. So that's going to be wicked for Zaha and Eze.
What,
going
like
forward?
Like a cheeky 1-2 or like?
Well, yeah. So like take
bang
it with
it
his
out,
back to goal,
ping it
flick
in.
flick it on. You know, make a run into the box. That kind of stuff. I like that a lot.
And he's tall as well, so flick it onto Zaha.
6'4", man. We've got big boys in this team. I'm happy with it. But yeah, like. Good. I think that's us done. There has been talks of us signing another player, but Roy said he's happy with the squad now. He doesn't really need anyone coming through, so fair enough. But AC Milan believe that they will complete the signing of Fikayo Tomori in the next 48 hours. That should be done pretty soon. I think that's pretty cool signing for both. He's going to get some good game time there, and he might, if he gets there now, he might end up winning a Serie A in the summer because they are top of the league at the moment, AC Milan. So yeah,
that's good. That's decent.
Fair play. Yeah, Arsenal are in talks with Real Madrid over a loan deal for Martin Odegaard. They face competition from Real Sociedad and a number of other Premier League clubs. Like Leicester are the front runner for Premier League clubs apparently at the moment to get him, which I actually would prefer to see him at Leicester than Arsenal. I just think for him it would be a better move. There would be less pressure on him at Leicester to do anything because they've got Maddison, they've got Tielemans, they've got Maddison and Tielemans essentially to be those creative players, and Odegaard can be free. I feel like if Odegaard goes to Arsenal, you have a lot of pressure on him to deliver right away.
How old is Odegaard now?
22, I think.
Still young. Still
let me check that.
To get into a team like Leicester, then just develop and just fit in.
Yeah, he's 22. Which is cool.
He was a really talented player, like quite young as well.
Yeah.
I remember, and he was like, I think if I'm remembering correctly, everyone was rating him the next Ronaldo, but obviously that dropped off.
That seems like so recently.
Yeah, he was like 16 when he signed for Real Madrid.
That's
like 17 or something. But I just remember this just it makes me feel good about something because you see Odegaard now and what they were talking about Odegaard and how he could be, and they still highly rate him. He's 22. Phil Foden's 20, and you see Phil Foden starting for Man City right now and what he's doing. He's 20 years old. That makes me feel so good about Phil Foden and England and that kind of stuff. But yeah, no, I think Odegaard would be a good signing, just not for Arsenal. I think he would be, but I just think for him it wouldn't be a good move for him. I think if he was to go, I think a Leicester would be awesome. But yeah, just think anything else. Obviously, like we said a bit earlier. Oh, we didn't. I don't think we said it on here actually. But Socrates has been his contract has been what do you call it? Terminated. Yeah, he's left the club. He's free agent. Fair play. He's not really Premier League quality really now anymore. And they're also looking to get rid of, I think the whole Ozil thing's pretty much done, right? So Fenerbahce, I just think that they're ironing out a few, details here and there, but weird one, still that whole Ozil thing. What do you think, guys, of Ozil?
Has Arsenal made any money so far?
Arsenal don't make money on players. They let their contracts run out and let them go for free. Well, that's literally what they do.
That's that one.
Yeah, that is how they play, so fair enough. But yeah, I think
it could be good for Ozil.
Oh well, I've literally just seen Fenerbahce to unveil Ozil this weekend. So there we go.
Bang!
Looks like it's going to be done this weekend, which is cool for Ozil.
Mistreated player.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we don't know what happened behind the scenes. Obviously, we don't know, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens with Ozil. Imagine if he just lights up the Turkish league.
Oh.
Well, actually, I'm
sure
not that hard of a thing to do.
I was gonna say, it's like,
yeah, we'll see. But yeah, and apart from that, that's about it at the moment, boys.
We're waiting for something more to happen.
It's been dead. It's January, isn't it? It's just dead for the Premier League in moves. But I know Arsenal were looking for Emi Buendia from Norwich, but they've been told that they will have to wait until the summer if they want to sign him. Because Norwich obviously having a great season so far, top of the Championship. Getting rid of their best player would be an absolute disaster right now. So yeah, I completely understand that. But yeah, that's our transfer roundup, guys.
Short and sweet.
That was it. Yeah, not much going on, unfortunately. I wish I had more to tell you, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it. But I know to finish off, Mark, you wanted to take us through a nice little segment you put together for us.
Yeah, so you know how we all do, sitting on the toilet, just scrolling through aimlessly, reading some things.
Of course.
Yeah.
For hours.
Hours, too long. Till your legs go numb, and then you
Of course.
got to, deal with that.
That's happening in an increasing amount these days.
But yeah, I came across a nice little segment which I thought would be just quite fun, really, to go through. So this one is about specific agreements in football that are just quite weird and quite specific.
Okay. Is this like player contracts and stuff like that, or
there are player contracts mixed in, but I think there's just like club agreements as well in place, which will break down, say whatever you need to say about them. It's just a bit more of an open discussion. So to start off, we have Luis Suarez couldn't sign for Man United. Former Liverpool forward Luis Suarez had a Manchester United clause written into his Barcelona contract. The clause prevented Suarez from signing for the Red Devils on a free, even after his contract with Catalan Giants had expired.
how does that work?
Other clubs on Barcelona's prohibited list included Man City, PSG, and of course Real Madrid.
Yeah, fair enough.
Nice.
How do you get
Good
someone
clause.
to abide? That's an awesome clause, but how do you get someone to abide by that after their contract's finished?
Money? I have no
They
idea.
just legally binding contract they signed.
Yeah, but if the contract's then finished, if it says like this contract is till this date, if then the date is finished and the contract is null and void, can he not
Well,
then go?
but, I mean that clause in particular, if the contract's for like, oh, you're employed by us until this time, you'll get paid this much until this time.
Yeah.
After this contract has expired, you cannot do this. Then it's still.
I guess he signed it,
legally
didn't he?
binding. Yeah.
I guess he signed it. So fair enough. That's why he's ended up at Atletico of all
Quite-
places.
Quite mad, I think.
That is a bit of a mad one.
That's so like some good clubs he potentially could have gone
Smart.
to.
It
Yeah.
is smart. It's smart.
Even more smarter, Barcelona forced to pay a premium. Liverpool made a huge 142 million when they sold Philippe Coutinho to Barcelona. The Reds received a big chunk of this up front, with the rest paid in performance-related instalments. But money wasn't the only thing Liverpool got out the deal. Some shrewd negotiations when selling the midfielder meant Barcelona wouldn't be able to raid Liverpool without paying a huge premium for the next 3 seasons. The premium stood at 100 million euros and required Barcelona to pay this on top of a standard transfer fee for any Liverpool player they wanted to sign. This premium kept Barcelona at bay, despite Liverpool housing world-class players who would have previously been at Catalan's club wish list.
This just shows how shite
Yeah.
Barcelona board are and have been for a little while now. You don't fucking sign that deal, man. Like obviously I know it's to get Coutinho, and at the time you don't understand that, you don't know that Coutinho is going to be a flop at Barcelona, but man,
What made them pick up the pen and go, yeah, well, if we want a player from you, we'll pay you 100 million up front?
I mean, at that time you didn't have Van Dijk or Salah or anyone like that, did you? Oh no, you would have had Salah and Mane, I'm fairly sure at that point, because didn't Coutinho play with them too?
I think Van Dijk and
No.
Alisson were the last 2 pieces.
Yeah, so I
they're fairly recent.
feel like you
like there
might
may
have
have
had
been an
Salah
overlap.
and Mane.
Yeah.
I feel like you might have had Salah. You had Salah and Mane when Coutinho was there. So I mean,
that's
out of the
possible.
3 of them players they could have signed, they signed the fucking worst one. But fair play, Barcelona, like, you messed up. I mean, their board's been terrible for a little while, so it doesn't surprise me. But
yeah,
big up Liverpool for putting that in there. That's smart.
we've sold a lot of players to Barcelona who have gone on to be some good players.
Yeah, that might be why you guys managed to have this window of being good. You couldn't sell your players to Barcelona.
Wasn't
That's why
allowed.
Trent's still there. Yeah, all them boys. But nah,
I
fair play.
don't think Trent would leave. I don't think he's
He's not.
going anywhere. I just don't think he'll ever go anywhere.
He was a Liverpool
Fair.
fan, isn't he?
It's
And
his
they're one of the best
dream.
teams. So
It's his dream
Might
to
as well
be
say
a
that.
Liverpool legend.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
fair enough.
Good.
I'm just
Alright,
wondering if he was offered big money elsewhere, would he go?
It's tough. I don't see a reason why he would, but
Yeah.
potentially.
Oh yeah.
Nah.
Well, right now, not really. There's no point.
I think he's too emotionally invested in Liverpool.
To be fair, Gerrard almost joined Chelsea at one point.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it can happen. It can happen. Things can change. Stuff can happen. But anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
Firmino wasn't allowed to sign for Arsenal. Arsenal upset Liverpool back in 2013.
Are these all Liverpool ones?
No. These are just.
Okay.
This is just literally just the thing I came across. Arsenal upset Liverpool back in 2013 when they tried to sign Luis Suarez for 40 million plus £1 after misunderstanding his release clause. The bid promoted something of a shock reaction from Liverpool owner John W. Henry, who at the time tweeted, "What do you think they're smoking over at the Emirates?" Suarez eventually headed to Barcelona and Liverpool replaced him with Roberto Firmino, but it seems the Reds weren't willing to let the Arsenal debacle go and included a clause in Firmino's contract that enabled any club in the world to trigger his 89 million release clause, except the Gunners.
Oh, Liverpool bare petty. I love it.
Harry, you've muted yourself.
So I'm still confused about that Suarez deal, about why they weren't allowed to speak to him.
Wait,
was it 40 million release clause, you said?
It was a £40 million release clause. So why couldn't they do 40
and they
million
billed 40 million one?
£1?
I didn't understand at the time, but I'm still confused about why.
Yeah, that doesn't really make sense.
Arsenal weren't allowed to speak to him in a contract.
I'm not sure either, without looking into it further. If anyone's watching this video or listening to the podcast, feel free to
know why that wasn't
let
allowed.
Us know. Yeah,
let us know. But yeah,
Could be a very different Premier League if that had happened.
Liverpool is so petty, and I love it. Putting that in just to spite Arsenal, I think it's great. But yeah, weird one. I don't really know why he couldn't have gone, to be honest. But cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, what you got next?
This one's probably more of just a fun one. It's titled "You Can't Stop Ronaldinho Partying." Brazilian legend Ronaldinho joined Flamengo from AC Milan back in 2011 as his career back in 2011 as his career at the very top of his game started to wind down. But just because he was getting a bit older didn't mean he wanted to party any less. And so the Barcelona legend negotiated a clause in his contract that allowed him to go out clubbing twice a week.
Jesus. Fair play. I mean, if you're playing, I guess
that?
he probably doesn't need to do too much training to play in the Brazilian league after his career. But yeah, fair enough. I mean, I guess I understand that kind of stuff when you've got a world-class player. If you want to let them do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and if they're quite prone to, I like going out. Yeah, okay, well maybe we should bring it up there. You know. Probably.
Yeah,
if this is how Ronaldinho operates, we should just go with it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like to take it. It's not. I don't want to take it away from football, but to compare it to James Harden in the NBA, like obviously the Rockets used to, I don't know, you probably don't know about this, Mark, but yeah, he used to go out party, and like if they had a day off in between games, he would fly out to Vegas and go party, and then he would come back the following day and then go to the game. But Rockets were fine with that because he would do that and then drop like 40-point triple-double that night. It'd be like
just be amazing.
And yeah, because you know he could do that on a hangover somehow. But fair play. But yeah, no, I don't necessarily hate that idea from players, but to cover his own arse, fair play to Ronaldinho.
I mean, if it's not broken, don't fix it.
Yeah, just let him do whatever you want.
It's Ronaldinho at the end of the day. Like,
yeah, you get to a certain status at a club where you can just do whatever you want.
Yeah. So I am starting to see a little bit of a trend here, and I think whoever wrote this might be a Liverpool fan because there's no games for Oxlade-Chamberlain. This one's titled, Liverpool's Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain had a rather bizarre clause written into his contract when he was at Arsenal, which in some way forced him out the door at the Emirates. Typical. Alan Gernon explained the clause in his book, The Transfer Market, The Inside Stories. A section reads, following Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain's move to Arsenal in 2011, the Gunners fans became increasingly frustrated with the midfielder's lack of playing time. He was predominantly used as a substitute, often around the 71-minute mark. After his contract details emerged, it all became clear Arsenal were obligated to pay Southampton 10 grand every time he played 20 minutes or more.
Bloody hell. That's a mad clause from Southampton, who have essentially just stifled any chance of Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain.
They were in League One at the time, though.
Any chance, huh?
They were in League One at the time, though, and it clearly made a big difference.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, like, I completely get that, but bloody hell, man, like that. Yeah, I mean that's just another way money ruins football, unfortunately.
Because he's a player who, if he didn't have all those injuries, could have been really good.
Yeah, and if he had more than 19 minutes of play time on a game, he probably would have become a better player.
Yeah, see, some stuff like that would
that shit annoys me, man.
I know.
That makes you think, like, how many players have weird clauses like that, or like minimum game time or maximum game time, where you're thinking, oh, why isn't the manager doing this? It's like, oh, he can't do this because the board's not going to let him. They don't want to pay this. They want to do this. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, football money is ruining football, man. Ruined football. Cheers, Abramovich. But yeah, fair enough. But yeah, weird one. But what's your next one, Mark?
This one's titled "Watch the Wait, Neil Ruddock."
Neil Razor Ruddock.
When Neil Razor Ruddock joined Crystal Palace from West Ham on a free in 2000, former Eagles chairman Simon Jordan, on the advice of then Iron boss Harry Redknapp, inserted a clause into the centre-back's contract. The clause stipulated that Ruddock had to remain at a recommended weight of 99.8 kilograms, and that he would be fined if he went over this amount. Jordan wrote in his autobiography, on approaching West Ham, I discovered he was a free transfer, although he did have a weighty salary. Irony. Which was not the only weighty thing about him. Harry Redknapp, the West Ham manager at the time, told me to put in a weight clause. So I decided to put a 10% penalty on the contract we were proposing to offer him if he was over the recommended weight of 99.8 kilograms, which, by the way, was still friggin' huge. Ruddock apparently hit with no fewer than 8 fines. No fewer?
I love that from Ruddock.
That's hilarious. I love that. I actually rate that. I actually rate that a lot from Simon Jordan, as someone that I really don't rate at all and never have. That is something that's pretty mad. I like that kind of thing.
Imagine that though. It's still no fewer than 8 fines.
Yeah, that's crazy. Because I know that the Miami Heat do it now to get off of bloody football again. Sorry, but my basketball team, Miami Heat, you have to have under 6% body fat to play for the Miami Heat. Just the conditioning tests and stuff like that. We don't have fatties on our team. So, but yeah, no, it's just I like that kind of stuff, man. I think that's wicked. I mean,
clearly, they were worried that the player had a little bit of weight issues.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's Neil Ruddock. Have you seen him now? Bloody hell. But he was a beast. I love Razor Ruddock. But yeah, no, fair enough.
Anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
What is this? Stefan Schwartz banned from space. Sunderland signed Stefan Schwartz for $4 million back in 1999, with the Swede putting pen to paper on a standard 4-year deal, with some small printing reading, "Space travel would see the contract terminated."
Space travel?
Yes, you did read that correctly. Sunderland's chief executive at the time, John Fickling, explained why on BBC Radio 5 Live, saying, "One of Schwartz's advisors has, indeed, got one of the places on the commercial flights, and we were worried that he may wish to take Stefan along with him. So we thought we'd better get things tied up now rather than at the end of the flight. It was a reasonable request. We would normally get insurance cover for a player throughout the length of his contract, and a lot of insurance policies, there are certain exclusions such as dangerous activities. At the end of the day, we are protecting the club. It was a little bit of light-hearted moment during the protracted negotiations, but one day it could become quite acceptable to put such clauses in various contracts."
I've not heard about that since, but I rate it.
I get why they did that. I mean,
yeah, fair
I guess
enough.
Insurance wouldn't cover
space travel,
which is a bit mad.
Yeah, I don't know what you're going to be doing in space though.
Yeah, especially when was he signing these deals back in 1999?
I doubt he's going to be going on the moon or anything. Like, twist his ankle on the moon. Oh god, I didn't see that crater. Jesus.
We got Moon United away this weekend.
You put,
Oh,
we put
no, right?
away at the Sea of Tranquility.
No atmosphere there. No atmosphere.
Oh no! Oh, the pun.
I like that.
Gee, I'm gonna move off of this. What a terrible pun. Actually, it was a brilliant pun, Harry.
It was great.
Thanks, mate. Thanks.
Okay. What's for dinner, Rolf Crystal? Germain? God. It's not only clubs who make unusual contract requests, as Rolf Crystal Germain. Am I butchering his name or something?
Fuck knows, mate. I don't know.
I don't know who that is, mate.
Proved when he signed for
Dickhead.
Eintracht Frankfurt from Karlsruhe in 1999. The midfielder wasn't a fan of his wife's cooking and so demanded the German club include a clause in his contract that would see them pay for her to have lessons.
Wow.
Why don't they just pay for a chef?
Guyman spent 3 years with Eintracht Frankfurt, so it seems he got his wish.
Oh wow!
Oh,
she had
God.
3 years of free cooking lessons.
I mean, did she request them? Did he? You know, not like a cookie? I mean, that's a bit of
You've
an.
got to rate yourself pretty highly to go into like a contract negotiation with that kind of
Yeah, but like give my wife
demand.
cooking lessons.
So these are your wages, these are your appearances. Yeah. Can my wife have some cooking lessons?
I cannot eat
She
another.
Yeah, forget all that.
This woman can burn water. I'm telling you, like. Oh my god, some of these things are just ridiculous. Oh god, another name I just can't pronounce. Stigigne Bjornby.
All right, well maybe we'll skip that one.
Banned from. I'm just going to call him Stig.
All right. Okay.
Banned from skiing. Stig was a keen skier growing up in Norway. Skiing was a passion he inherited from his dad, Joe and Stig apparently, who competed in both 1968 Winter Olympics and Grenoble in the 1917 Winter Olympics in Japan. But Liverpool quickly put a stop to all the snow-based fun when Stig signed for them at Anfield Club in 1992. With a clause in his contract preventing him from skiing, the clause was in place to ensure the left-back didn't injure himself in his slopes. I mean,
That's fine.
That's
if he's
fair.
like a known skier, then
I'd be
enough.
like, well, why should you play for us? You
Makes
can't
sense, yeah.
ski. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't have to sign the contract, does he?
no. True.
Would you rather
Yeah,
do
no,
is-
I completely agree with that. I mean, if you've got a player going, yeah, no, I'm really good, yeah, but I like to do really dangerous things all the time. You're like, well, don't, because we're paying you a lot of money to be alive. Anyway.
Yeah, that would be kind of weird. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to have any like extreme hobbies, I guess.
No, you could be like, oh, I like to go rock climbing. Something like
You
that.
can't even really get drunk very often if you're a top club.
Yeah.
Unless
Just have like one or two light beers every once in a while.
Yeah, Ronaldinho used to get slaughtered.
Georgie Best.
Georgie Best. Yeah, he was definitely pissed a lot on the pitch, but that's the way we like it.
Yeah, true.
I remember a good. Sorry to just a
That's
really
fine.
quote from George Best. It was like something like. It was something to do with like someone asked me the other day, what would I rather do? Beat Liverpool. Beat Liverpool in the whatever the final, and then shag Miss Universe. He was like, well, luckily I've done both, so I was just like, okay, yeah, George Best is sick, man. But I can't remember what the final was. I think it was like an FA Cup final or something like that or whatever. But yeah.
The shade. Luckily I've done both, so.
Yeah, luckily I've done both, so it doesn't matter.
So this is the last one. Spence Pryor and the Sheep Testicle. Sounds like a book.
Wow.
When Spence.
I would read that book. I don't read very often at all, but I would read that.
So this reads, when Spencer Pryor signed for Cardiff from Manchester City in 2001, a bizarre clause was inserted into his contract that required him to have a physical liaison with a sheep and eat sheep testicles.
What?
A physical liaison.
Yeah, that's what it says.
It's just a joke. Is it a joke one they snuck in there?
Maybe, I'm hoping.
Was this physical liaison with sheep?
Then Cardiff
made him shag a sheep.
Then Cardiff chairman Sam
Sam
Hammond explained at the time, it's simple. With Spencer being non-Welsh, he needs to prove that to the people.
Yeah, that's a
Wales.
piss.
This is a joke.
Then
That's
he-
a piss take.
Then he
That's
understands the
not
play.
real.
Then he became a true leader. That's got to be a piss take. I mean,
Oh, I was so excited by the title of this story.
Yeah, the sheep testicles.
I'm gonna have to look into that if that's.
Well, do they eat sheep testicles in Wales?
See what? I've got my phone out.
No,
I honestly
I
don't.
believe they might have physical liaisons with them, but I don't know about the eating.
I'm just gonna Google this now. Spencer Pryor.
That's nuts, man.
Spencer.
That's got to be bullshit.
That's fully bullshit. That that is outrageous.
The first thing's come up.
Oh, is
Spencer
this
Pryor.
all from the same article?
Yeah, it was.
Okay, I was going to say if
I've just Googled Spencer Pryor sheep and it just pops up BBC Sport. Spencer Pryor has been ordered to eat sheep testicles after signing for Cardiff City. The 30-year-old defender joined the Bluebirds, was not prepared for some of the clauses.
Well, that's actually on BBC Sport.
That's on BBC Sport.
Okay, it's real. Fair enough.
Was this in his contract, or was this just like an initiation he had to do?
I don't know. Spencer Pryor has been offered to eat, has been ordered to eat sheep's testicles.
What is going on? What?
Another condition stipulates that he must have a physical liaison with the sheep during his time at Nyannian Park.
What is?
The crazy terms were dreamt up by Cardiff Supremo Sam Hammond. The former Wimbledon chairman is no stranger to madcap behaviour after witnessing ritual soakings, burning and beatings during his time at Plough Lane and Selhurst Park.
Is this a cult or something? Or what the hell is
so
this?
confused.
Cardiff football
Well, this
team.
is actually on BBC Sport. There must be like some truth to it.
Right,
this has blown my mind. Like.
I'm trying to I need to
I
get
don't think we
more.
can top that.
I
I don't think we can top that with these contract things anymore.
The
That is
Guardian.
fucking
The
real.
Guardian.
That's
What
real.
is
Okay.
going on? What is going on?
That's
Oh,
unreal.
God. Right.
I think that's a good place to leave it
Sounds-
there, boys. I'm not going to lie with the bloody testicles.
Oh, I don't know if I'll be recovered by next episode.
No, I don't think
We're going to
so
have to
either.
bring this up next week and let Sarah know and see what she thinks.
Yeah, definitely.
Speaking
All right. Well,
of-
on that note of sheep's testicles, like and subscribe, guys. Thank you for watching the episode. Just to let you know, you will be obviously this will go up on YouTube next week. Well, for us it will be next week sometime,
Yeah.
right? But yeah, in the meantime, we will have some older episodes going up on the Spotify, so make sure to check that out at Footy Fetish. For next week's episode, we do have Sarah, a good friend of ours who is a Leicester fan. She's also a big film critic, sort of nerd, I guess I would say. She's big into her film. She knows her stuff.
Cinephile.
Say cinephile. That's a good word for it. She knows her stuff about films, and that's well, I fucked that up massively, haven't I? And that's why we are doing our top 5?
I think we originally said top 10, but that's a lot of films.
That's a lot of films. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But it's going to be our favorite, a list, a ranking of our favorite football movies. Expect to see some good old classics in there. But yeah, I'm looking forward to rewatching quite a few, like Goal, Football Factory. I'm looking forward to getting
Green
into
Street.
these
Green
ones.
Street's on Netflix.
Forgot about that.
Green Street.
You forgot about Green Street.
Football
about-
Factory?
Football Factory or Green Street? Did you say you forgot about?
I forgot both of them. I
Oh
love
my
them both.
god!
They're both great.
What about?
I'll save this
Here's-
for next week.
here's-
Save the
No.
cut
so
this
much.
from the episode, Mark. We've already
good.
said too much.
We're teasing. We're teasing too much. But sweet. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you Harry and Mark for coming and chatting and giving our top 10s. We'll get onto the top 10 defenders in a couple of weeks, I'm sure. We'll spread these out a little bit, but thanks everyone for watching. Like and subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can be notified when we've uploaded. All right. Cheers, guys.
Thanks.
Boom, 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 boom.
Follow.
boom, boom.
Follow.